So you're seeing these guys hooking up as far as who's going to have control by the time we get up here. 1983, the Montauk Project was launched. In this project, basically what was done was what was called the Phi-X wormhole. That's the one that was created through the Philadelphia experiment in 43, and that was linked into inner Earth. I mean, not inner Earth. It was linked into phantom Earth. What they did in 1983, this was after the Drak guys of Falcon got involved with the Andromedes. Through the Montauk Project, they plugged the Phi-X into the Andromeda holdings, not just into Phantom Earth, but into Phantom Alpha and Omega Centauri, which left all sorts of other doorways open for all sorts of other things to come through. So the Montauk Project took place in 83, and at this point you have two big wormholes open and two smaller ones, the Phi-X, which became really the Phi-X Montauk. It really operates as one. Then you have all these APIN systems all over the place with different groups trying to get control of them, using as their main access point one of those two wormholes. Okay. 1983, the Guardians finally got in to the deal, and they finally were able. See, what was happening through this period is Guardians could not get communication lines in here. They couldn't get to people. They'd already tried to come in. The Guardians had tried to come in when the Zetas came in, and they tried to warn the governments here. And they said, look, they're both trying to invade you. All right, you want to get out of this. It's a lot bigger than this. They were trying to tell them about the Stargate opening cycle. They were trying to explain to them that you can't fight this with wars. You can't fight this with weapons. No, we're not going to give you weapons technology. What you need to learn to do is this. They were trying to teach them the mechanics of round tables. And what the governments wanted were weapons to blow up their enemies. So they told the Guardian races repeatedly, there were about 6 attempts made of physical contact, covert physical contact, with the head guys in the Illuminati that were making the contracts with the others. And repeatedly the Guardian races were told to take a hike. And if they didn't take a hike, that they'd literally blow them out of the sky if they tried to bring their spaceships in to warn the public. So the Guardians could have come in anyway. It would have created war in our skies, and we would not be here talking about it at this point. And what was happening through the process, there's a lot of indigos here. This was the Guardians' trump card. They knew that the indigo races were born on the planet and that there was a lot of us here now. High Council had come. The indigos 1 and 2 were here in force because we had to open the grids for the stellar activation cycle. The big thing was going to become, can they wake up fast enough without them getting hijacked by one of the other groups? So there's been a huge hijack the indigos program going on. Get them into the false Merkaba mechanics. Get them into the UFO movement or the New Age movement. You see, those two movements have one thing in common. They both involve people who have a little bit higher strand activation where they're starting to have